T-minus 3-minute mark. Tape recorders on board the spacecraft were turned on. These recorders record both voice and data. We have ignition sequence start. The engine's now building up to 7.7 million pounds of thrust. We have a launch commit and we have a liftoff. Moving back. The Saturn V lifting off with power.
This is WOMM LP operating out of Billington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator. Good evening, it's The Rocket Shop. I'm your host, Tom Proctor, and with me tonight is Dino Bravo and Ray Padgett. Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
I just want to make clear that it's not Dino Bravo and Ray Padgett is in all one band. It's the band Dino Bravo and the journalist Ray Padgett. So, hello. How's it going, guys?
Good. How you doing?
I'm
Thanks for
pretty
having
good. Pardon?
Thanks for having us, man.
Oh, no. Honestly, anytime. Plus, after it's taken so many years to get this album out of yours that's just been released, I would expect nothing less than you guys to be coming onto the Rocket Shop. So, really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
We always like kicking it off with a song, so I'm hoping this one's going to be one from the new album.
Yeah. We'll play the first track off the album. Right now, it's called The Aerialists. I have to stand up and play it real quick.
No worries. That was The Aerialist by Dino Bravo off their new album, Blind by Midnight. So guys, tell me a little bit about the record itself. As you were talking a little bit during the song, you formed in 2011. Debut album 2019.
That's right.
Tell me about everything from concept to completion on this album.
Mostly we were, I guess we were starting to get a little stagnant. We get together every Monday around the corner here at Green Door Studio, and it kind of started turning into more of a hang, smoking weed and talking about other bands in town.
Yeah.
Behind their backs, and
Viciously.
Was it like a Mean Girl situation? You guys just like making a burn buck and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
spreading rumors?
We just
Nah.
had, like, secret notes.
Mostly we went into a Robot Dog studio where we recorded the album. We went in there to do a radio show with Tim Lewis, and got to know Ryan a little better, Ryan Cohen, and felt really comfortable there. Felt comfortable with him, and we decided, Christ, it's probably time to put something out, So it's a 6-song record. 5 of the songs we've been playing for years. That one we just heard is one of the newer ones that Chris wrote, and just went in there and banged it out in one day. Did some vocals at our buddy David's house, and then it got mixed, and there it was on Bandcamp. So we're pretty proud of it. We think it sounds pretty good. Ryan did a great job, so David did as well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to Dave. It's super tight, and I mean that's to be expected. All you guys have various bands around town. You're no strangers to recording studios or being musicians or just getting things done quickly.
Yeah.
How did you pick the 6 songs that are going to be on there? Because I mean, after you were existed for more years than there are songs, so I feel it's probably more of a back catalogue out there of tracks you know. So how did you guys whittle it down to these 6?
Not easily. At first, I think it was just because we had waited so long to make one. We had all this kind of stuff sitting here, and we were in this weird position where we had gotten a little tired, because we've been playing them live for so many years that we didn't really know how to interact with some of the tunes anymore. And so it kind of started as this idea of like, this will be how we put them to bed. But then like kind of recording them, we started liking them again. so I went that idea. So I don't know. A couple of them picked themselves pretty easily, but there was a couple. There's like 1 or 2 that I think could have made it on, but yeah, these were like, I don't know. These just had the better flow. Perry handles all the set lists, so
That's right.
He handles this.
I feel like a couple of them were just songs that we knew we could play in our sleep, and I think a couple of them were songs we thought were popping pretty well live around that time. So we just kind of went with that, and the idea floating around now is that we'll do another thing like almost exactly like this next year, and like a new song and maybe like 5 more of the old ones, and then really, and then year 3 do another one with all new music, kind of make it a trilogy. Yeah. That's kind of what we're thinking right now. We think about a lot of stuff though. So
Yeah.
Best things come in 3s.
that's right. Yeah.
Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Famously amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
The
there's
first
only
3
other
Police Academy, but none after.
Alvin, Simon, Theodore.
Exactly. Snap, crackle, pop.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Those guys are great.
Any number above 3 actually is usually pretty terrible.
It's too much, which is why we never made Jeff an official member of the band.
I played all the drums on the album.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I just want to be honest. We're out here on the radio. We're live, and no one can lie anymore. I played all the drums on this record.
So the FEC regulations, you're not allowed to lie on the radio.
You're not allowed
That's
to lie on
right.
the radio. I have to be honest. I played every drum beat on this record, and Jeff wasn't even there.
Wait, is it a bit like a Beatles scenario where it's actually Ringo play? Sorry, it's actually Paul or
Paul did. Yes,
John
right. What did Paul play
drumming.
drums on again?
Like all sorts of stuff.
He had USSR, right? Back in USSR, was that Paul? I played drums on the White Album.
There you go.
Right, I like that you're in here as kind of like the music historian of this one. It's not often that I see Chris defer to someone else in terms of knowledge of music.
Yeah.
So it's
Ray comes on whenever I start lying horribly about what I've done on
fact
records.
checker.
I didn't play any of the drums on the album.
I'm not even sure his guitar was plugged in when I saw them live, frankly.
it's a little bit like giving a little brother the controller. That's what they do with Chris. They just give him an unplugged instrument and let him strum to himself.
If they run out of Riddlin, they're
You just
like,
want to
oh,
keep him
God.
occupied, you know?
Yeah. Before I do anything.
Ray, you wrote about this album. got some great quotes from it. For example, Chris's explanation of the band being fiercely unambitious, which I thought was a fantastic quote. What was your first take of the album? And knowing Dino Bravo, what did you expect them to record, and how did that meet your expectations with, or not meet your expectations with what they actually produced?
Well, so having only actually moved here 6 months ago, my relationship to Vermont music is almost entirely through recorded Vermont music, which means that Dino Bravo was one of those names I knew existed. I think maybe I'd seen him at Waking Windows once or something, but like basically I didn't know much, and I saw him once or twice, and they were fantastic live. That when I realized that they had been together for quite so many years without having recorded an album, I was kind of stunned. But it seems like it was worth the wait. I mean, it's a sort of great classic rock inspired bangers that like guitar solos everywhere, great lyrics. One member's referencing Thin Lizzy, and others referencing My Morning Jacket. So it was it was perfect, I guess, for me, because by the time I really knew who they were, bam, they had an album out. So for me, it wasn't 8 years.
We waited for Ray to move back.
Just to be to let listeners know, Ray is the owner and writer of County Tracks. So if you've ever liked a Vermont musician or been a Vermont musician, which accounts for like 75% of Vermont, Ray's probably written about you at some point. And you do have a fantastic. I mean, it's been going for a number of years right now. And did I get that clear? You're living outside Vermont for a long time, or are you literally this is the first time you've started living here?
Yeah, no, I was living away for quite a while. So basically, I lived here for only a year, like 5 years ago, just long enough to sort of get very into the local music scene. And then sort of we had to move away for work, the day job. But I was still following it remotely, still reading about it on Bandcamp and listening to what I could. And so I've, for many years, run another blog on cover songs. And so my sort of impulse is if I'm paying attention to something in music, I want to write about it. So, because I couldn't actually see any of these bands live or go to shows or anything, I was like, well, at least I can sort of write a blog, and the angle was sort of by an outsider for outsiders. So up until, like I said, 6 months ago, County Tracks has its entire existence been run by a guy living in Brooklyn, but about exclusively Vermont-based musicians.
Now you're one of us.
Yeah, now I'm here.
So did you grow up here?
No, I went to school nearby, so that's kind of how Burlington was the closest town that had like concerts and record stores, so I came here a lot, and that's kind of how I first fell in love with the area. What
is it about Vermont bands and musicians that kind of drive you to write about them? Because you're living in Brooklyn, I mean, it's a pretty, I've heard, such a pretty big hub when it comes
We're
to
better than the Strokes, though, right?
We're better than the Strokes.
We're better than the Strokes.
I mean, no one's doubting that. I mean, I'm pretty sure they said it themselves.
Yeah. Sorry.
I heard there were one or two bands based in Brooklyn. No, I mean, in a way, Burlington has a music scene in a way Brooklyn doesn't, meaning that like because a city like New York is so big and sprawling, there's not really a music scene. There's a million little music scenes, but they're all kind of their weird little niches. Whereas Burlington, I kind of the bands I think are fantastic, but also just the environment for music is really strong. Partly because it's somewhat isolated, so of course you have bands in different genres collaborating, working together. Everyone knows each other. And people tend to support each other because it's a ways away to get to a big city. Whereas New York, everyone's coming and going. Nothing really coalesces in the same sort of way.
So are you saying that Burlington music then has a unique sound because of the amount of collaboration and the cross pollination that's been going on?
I don't know about unique, but in terms of my experience, living only in sort of these very big cities, there's plenty of collaboration. But I've just noticed that. I do think there is something special about a smaller city where it is somewhat isolated, and sort of people do, work together, know each other, hang out in a way that if you have a million different scenes, people are more likely to, stay in their metal scene or their folk scene or whatever, and you probably won't get those unexpected meetings and people making music together you might not expect to.
Back to Dino Bravo. As Ray kind of pointed out, each song that you've got on your new album seems to point to a musician. You guys are like meta musicians, really. The whole album's a bit of an ode to your favourite songs. Was that a big part of how you picked your tracks, or is every Dino Bravo song in some way referencing another band or musician?
Super meta.
Yeah, no, that's just something that happened. I think we do, as Ray said in the article, wear our influences on our sleeves almost to a fault sometimes. It just happened to be the group of songs we picked were a little more specific. I didn't think about it when we put the track list together.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way it happened. And I was like, oh, this song and this song make the same reference, and then he makes a reference, and then the song "Strawberry Blonde" that Josh Shedeker wrote, our bass player, that it's very Thin Lizzy-esque. But not all of our songs are like that, I don't think.
No.
And it was not on purpose.
Yeah.
It just happened to be. Yeah.
I do think some of it slipped in because there is I mean, it's no secret. Like rock and roll is becoming more and more of a frontier thing. You know, rock's not pop anymore, and it hasn't been for a while. And I think you can, if you start, like, we don't view ourselves as doing anything on that. Like, we just play what we know how to play. We don't really know how to play anything else. But rock and roll is kind of a little bit more on the outskirts these days. So I think there is a sort of fierce. It's like being in a club now more than it used to be in some way, and you want to shout out like what's great about it sometimes, because maybe people didn't used to ask you what's so great about it, and now you're like, wow, well, let me tell you, really loudly. So I think part of, like, maybe that's got in the subconscious, and I think that's why we wrote about these things, because we were writing about life events. Like, you know, the song that references My Morning Jacket is actually about Perry having this big kind of life event around where that's just a thing in the background. And, you know, we stepped back as a band to realize, I don't know if I realized, but to see like, oh wow, these are important things in our lives. It's important. Like I'm having this big moment while this is playing, you know? So I think it's more the acknowledge of the effect of it than it is the actual, the band, other than Weird Al.
Music is our favorite thing in the world, and the bands we love passionately, and there's no way it doesn't bleed through, I don't think.
I mean, Ray busted us.
Yeah.
Other than that,
We got outed.
Ray called me up and he's like, "That guitar solo, I know what that's from." And I was like, "Shut up, Ray."
It took me a few listens. I was like, it sounds really familiar. I know this.
You write about this in your
You're
blog.
gonna get a cease and desist letter through the post any day now.
And then we got a lawyer.
record
He's
company.
good.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Well, I'd love to hear another track.
Oh yeah.
So what have you got for us?
You heard enough?
Sure.
You talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to give us a quick blurb to the song?
You've Heard Enough is basically about, you swear on this vehicle?
Let's try and keep it
Try not to?
PG-13 as
Okay.
possible.
This is about getting stuck in a spot, becoming sick of yourself, and then having the paranoia that just about everyone in your life must be sick of your horseradish, because you're sick of your own horseradish, and kind of dealing with that in a downtime on a day off from everything, just sitting home, self-loathing, and trying to bring yourself up from that.
I'm so tired every day, I can't find the words to say. Used to have a silver tongue, but these days I'm not so young. I could stumble through a story of my 20s and my glory, but my brains have been beat up from when I didn't give a fuck. So tell me that you've heard enough.
That was You've Heard Enough by Dino Bravo. And we were having a bit of a conversation during the break here about a few of Chris's other bands. So Chris, who else do you play for the listeners?
I'm in Zeus Springsteen as well, as is Josh, our bass player. So two out of the 4 Dino Bravos are in Zeus, and you know.
Perry, do you play with other bands as well?
No, not current. Well, I do play with everybody's favorite Irish drinking song band.
Once a year band.
Yeah, once a year band. We play on St. Patrick's Day. We sing drinking songs and throw potatoes at the audience.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
As
Yeah,
an
it's pretty
Irish
good.
person, it's incredibly insulting.
Yeah, that's the point.
That is.
Get out of my country.
You build a wall around Ireland.
Yeah,
It is quite racist if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think about it.
Everyone accepts it with the Irish.
yeah.
I mean, too drunk to care. So yeah, Chris. In terms of the kind of the way that you play with Zeus and the way that you play with Dino, what creatively do you look for when you sit down and you play with Dino, and what creatively are you looking for when you go with Zeus?
Well, I mean, right off the bat, one thing is different is that you have the other songwriters, like writing and playing with Perry and the songs that Perry writes is very different than playing on like songs that David writes. And even like when either band plays songs I write, it's just different. I think with Bravo, there is just kind of this. I don't know. I was gonna say unspoken, but I think we speak it a lot. Actually, there's just like a dedicated. We're trying to rock really hard. We like rocking really hard. It feels it's kind of like it's just part of the energy of the band. It's a really big sort of. It's I can get all my Zeppelin licks out. I wanted as a kid, and it's really great. Zeus is a trio, and it's a lot like there's a lot more space. Like playing with Perry. Perry's he's kind of a very kind
Handsome.
of hard. He's very handsome. El guapo. He's very handsome, and he distracts me when we play, and when we go on the radio.
Shining aura in
I
front
think
of
about
you.
his beard a lot.
Answer the question.
Playing with Perry is different because he takes up a lot of space.
Oh my God.
Musically.
Oh man.
Musically, there's a lot of guitar, and I play with another guitar player in this band, and it's very different.
Is there a competition then? Are you two trying to kind of outplay each other?
Only on the drums, and I'm better, so it doesn't matter. I played all the drums on this record. I'm doubling down.
Stop it.
Jeff is a great drummer,
He is.
and we love him very much. I wish he had played on this album.
I guess he's in the band now, isn't he?
He's in the band.
Yeah.
Gone from a trio to a quartet.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just different. Zeus is there's a lot of space and you gotta fill it up, and Dino is a lot more like just trying like you can do cool stuff. I can mirror his vocal melodies and stuff because I know he's playing the rhythm, and you can do all these old cool rock and roll. I mean the song that Shetty wrote, Strawberry Blonde, like Perry and I get to do these harmony guitars, and it's a lot of fun to like do all that Thin Lizzy stuff, and I don't get to do that and other stuff. So
How do the two bands differ live? What are you trying to deliver to an audience? What's the message that you're delivering to an audience with each band?
We're funnier, I think.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Dino Bravo's
seeing
funnier.
Bravo. There's actually stage presence, because Perry's so good. He is like when you see, and like for people who've been seeing music in Burlington for a while, this has been a presence. We've all been in bands since the early 2000s, but if you remember like the Lessons and Party Star, like Perry's is it's a big personality, and he's when you see him on stage, like you want to pay attention to what he says. When it's Zeus, it's like I remember like when people used to criticize the Eagles for many things, they'd say they loiter on stage because they just don't do anything. They just stand there and play their music, and to some degree, that's probably what Zeus does.
But Zeus is 3 guys who are masters at their craft, and I go see them whenever I can. They're one of my favorite local bands, and one of my favorite bands. And watching David, he's a drummer and he also sings, and he's just so good at both at the same time. And Shetty is sick on the bass. He's ill.
He's physically ill.
He's
right
physically
now.
ill, which is why he's not here.
He's not on the show.
And Chris is just wonderful, and their music speaks for itself, so they don't need the jokes. They don't need the jokes. I need the jokes. I gotta have the jokes.
Give me the joke.
Yeah.
It's just but Bravo's more about like there's like a fun, there's an aspect of fun, and I think we balance out. There's songs about party rocking, and then there's songs about what the party rocking does to you. So
It's not good.
it's not good is the answer.
Not good.
We're dying.
Yep.
With the new album Blind by Midnight, you do all seem to have at least one song that you have written, each person in the band.
Except
Not Jeff.
Not well, he's not in the band though. So
No, he is now as of a couple weeks ago.
And is very important to the band.
Yeah. He's a wonderful human.
Wonderful drummer.
He doesn't even know this is happening right now, I bet.
I bet Jeff has no clue we're on the radio right
Yeah.
now.
Even though we've told him like 5
We
times.
told him. We did.
Yeah.
We're like, Jeff, we're
He has
on the radio
no idea.
Wednesday. Meet us at Green Door. And he's like, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
We're going to go on Monday and be like, yeah, when are we on the radio? That's what's going to happen.
What?
Yeah.
he's
a lovely man. We love him very
listening
much.
Right now with a single tear rolling down.
Yeah, probably.
So was that an intentional idea? And kind of the follow-up question to that is how do each of you differ in terms of bringing new songs and new ideas to the band?
For me, I will bring pieces. I'll bring a riff, or even just I'll start with a vocal melody and write a riff around that, and then I'll come in with kind of A B A B A B, and I'll be like, Chris, Shetty, get that, fix it, make the C, make the bridge, and then Shetty put down his wonderful harmonies. He's a great singer, which really adds texture to the band, and it's just more of like a skeleton of a song that I bring. And then I have my wonderful musician, good friends, like make it 10 times better. Chris similar, I believe. When you bring a song to the band, it's a little more structured probably than what I bring to the band.
Yeah.
Shetty's is very structured.
Shetty
has charts and all sorts of stuff going on.
Composed it all already. And
Yeah.
knows exactly where you're
He's like,
coming in.
here's your solo, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, that's just the way he works, and that's what makes him great too. He's a brilliant dude, and he's very good at like everything in music. Mm-hmm. Like anything I have wrong, whether it's a song or my guitar or my amp or like what should I do here, I call him my song doctor.
Is he a bit Brian Wilson-esque, where he's kind of placing you around the room and making sure you close enough to the microphone and?
No, he's not that. He's not too bad like that. It's just more like with the structure. He's very architectural about his songs. I think when we bring in songs, it's a bit more like, okay, this is an A. It should go do, and like that's as much direction as you get from us because
we're Neanderthals and
yeah. Well, also like when you play with somebody like Josh, like I'm not gonna tell Josh what to play on bass. He's fabulous. So it's like, and that hasn't always been my experience in bands when I was younger. Like there was a lot of, if you felt like you, I don't know about other people. Like I don't like the concept of being like the alpha musician, the guy who's like, okay. Like I like the idea of everybody plugging in and then you get that person's personality because that's what makes it really good. But if you have somebody like Josh, you really don't have to worry about it. And you can just be like, cool, there you go. But Josh is much more, he's got, he's a little bit, just more meticulous about that kind of stuff, which does slow the process down. So I can pip him by writing more. Because he's taking so damn long to write out my own parts, so I can just do like, this one's just A to B, dude. I know this the difference in songwriting process is with Bravo is good because that way you can kind of pass a baton if somebody's just not having one and someone else will have one and it picks up nicely. And I follow a really strict procedure of I make sure. I go through a terrible breakup, and that way I can write a song, and then about a year later I'll do it again. Yeah, and it repeats,
So really, your breakup is sacrificial for the music's sake.
Yeah, I'd say
it actually says it on his Tinder bio.
It's right on there. It's like
he's very honest about it.
365 days, and then I need you to dump me.
Yeah,
please. I can do it too, but the songs won't be as good if I do it. I need.
The love of God, I'm running out of material.
Yeah, please. It's brilliant.
The different styles of songwriting is why like some of the songs like you can tell they're written by different people on the album because sometimes it'll take us 6 months to get a song where we want it to be, and sometimes we'll be making a joke about something and write a song about it and it's done in 4 minutes.
Yeah. Chuck Berry.
Yeah, we have a song called Chuck Berry. This is just about him putting cameras in the women's room of his restaurants, and it's just
Because
repeating the
people
same.
need to know.
Yeah, I
people
think-
need to know. Chuck Berry put cameras in his bathrooms. Okay, guys.
Yeah,
Not
he
a good
definitely
man.
put them there.
He was not a cool dude.
In fact, no one was. Anyone from the 60s or 70s or 80s,
Oh, come
or
on.
for a lot of the 90s, were pretty
what's
terrible
wrong with
human
Ringo?
beings.
Nothing's wrong with Ringo.
Ringo?
Ringo's the best.
He's a Brexit support.
Is he?
Yeah,
No way.
yeah.
Okay, but he's like really old. So now we can just be like, it's okay, Ringo.
Okay, Ringo.
Okay, Ringo.
Pretty sure that's what everyone said to him for his entire life.
He's Ringo. It's fine.
He's harmless.
Yeah.
He likes octopies.
Oh, I love that song.
And so going into the studio to crank out this album, any memorable moments in the actual recording of it? You were only in there a day, so you really packed it in. But after taking I keep banging on about this, but after taking so long to get there, yeah, how was it when you were actually recording it?
It was really easy for me. I haven't had the best recording experiences in the past, and it really gives me anxiety, like going into a studio. But the way Ryan, just the way Ryan is, the way he talks to you, just the setup of the place. He has this wonderful dog named Robot, and
That dog's awesome.
the dog rules. And it was just so easy, and we recorded live, so just all the instruments at the same time, and then did overdub the vocals and solos later. And it just seemed like it went by like that. We do like 4 takes on each song, just pick the best one, and Ryan just took it and made it sound like Dino Bravo. Like he just knew what to do, and we were just so happy with what he did, and thankful for him.
Had he been to a lot of your live shows? Did he know what you the presence you brought in a live set, and he put that on the track, or was it he kind of made you sound like what you think you sound like, or was it about both?
He's seen us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
you've
actually,
seen
I
us.
think he technically played with us a couple years ago. He used to be in the Phantom Sons.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, she's.
Yeah.
I
think I don't know that. Yeah, so he knows.
Chris, the fact checkers over here.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
He knows what our sound is like, and like I said, we were in there we did like a live radio show in his studio before that, about a year before that, I guess.
Yeah, which was hugely important because that I think got that monkey off our back a bit about the stress of the studio.
Yeah,
Because it was really good. It was really good. And the more Dino trends towards live, the better for us. That's what we're built to be. We're not gonna sit here. I mean, I don't know, but I don't see us making like some album where all of a sudden we all come up with synths, and like everyone's programming beats and stuff.
never say never.
I won't. I mean, it'd be fun.
Yeah,
It'd be fun. Jeff would kill himself.
yeah.
But it would. But I think we know what we are, and I think Ray and Ray does as well. Ryan did as well, and he recorded us as such. But we also did. I think we handled it very intelligently in the sense that we went one day to do all the basics, which was good, and we had a good day. Because the most important thing when you do that is your drums. That's how you get your drums down. And Jeff had a great day. Jeff just killed the drums. It was wonderful. So then we did vocals and most of the guitar solos at David from Zeus has a home studio, and we did it there. And that kind of, I think having the two things really, you have Ryan who just knows how to, I mean, he's just such a good producer anyway, but he really got a great sound out of us live, and then we were able to do these overdubs in a really like super laid back fashion, and I think it helped. He did a great job.
And I hear the release party was mid-November,
Mm-hmm.
and you got a lot of other local bands to come support. Want to tell me a little bit about the evening itself and who got to go? And Ray, did you manage to get to the?
I was there. It was
You there?
great. And it was packed. They filled the place. They threw in an Oasis cover.
Yes, we did.
A crowd pleaser.
For you.
Oh,
Yeah.
We knew you wouldn't come, so we're gonna play the only band from Manchester that I can think of. Joy Division.
we got a few. Yeah.
That's the only.
Smiths?
Manchester.
Manchester. No, we played a song for Tom and he refused to come. I was texting him. We're gonna play Oasis in
That's
5
true.
minutes.
I thought we-
He told me no.
Missed it. It was pretty good.
It was
They played their whole album and then a whole bunch of other stuff, as you said. They've got enough, as far as I can tell, for 2 or 3 more albums at this point. So hopefully they'll knock them out pretty quick.
yeah. Hopefully.
Quicker than the current rate.
Ray, now you're in Vermont. Are you just packing a schedule with as many live acts as you can find? Now you can actually see them in the flesh.
Yeah, it's kind of like catch-up for me. Of all these people I've paid attention to for the last 2 or 3 years, my pretty much only time I got to Vermont every year was Waking Windows, and so I was like super obsessive getting there right when it opened, and seeing like 50 or 60 bands over the course of a weekend, and trying to run. And so now it's kind of nice, like all the bands who didn't play there, or who I would miss. I can catch up on them. Like they've got this thing at Arts Riot I think this coming weekend where like there's 20 bands play. That's great. That's the sort of thing I've always I follow these people on Facebook. I've always seen these cool Burlington things happening and never actually been able to participate. So I've definitely been making up for lost time, I think.
This dude goes to a lot of shows. I got paid to go to him. He goes to more than me.
Do people know you? Do the bands know you? They're like, oh, that's right. He reviewed 4 of our albums.
Yeah, I mean, I keep getting that. The thing I keep hearing is, oh, you're the guy. Because people know me via email for most of the things I write. I will interview at least over, ask a few questions via email. So I know everyone via email. People tend to Facebook friend you, so I'm Facebook friends with people. But I actually did know very few people in person, and now it's just over and over again. I meet someone at a show and like, oh, we've been emailing for 3 years.
I mean, that's what
That's how me and Chris met. We emailed about the Zeus Springsteen record, which was like 2 years ago or so. I'd never met him until I moved up here.
Disappointing, isn't it?
It was a letdown, honestly.
Big letdown. You're like, oh, I thought you guys were gonna be attractive.
I had that. Oh, you're the guy moment about an hour ago.
Yeah,
with Ray. So
Yeah, right. We just met here. Yeah. Keeps happening.
I'll be honest with you, Ray. Thanks to County Tracks, I've managed to have more success rate with these interviews than not, because you've provided me with most of my research.
Oh, good. Well, I'm happy to oblige.
it's huge. It's hugely important to the local scene to have it. I mean, like as Big Heavy World's been such an important thing to the scene for so long. This is everything here is essentially DIY. It's no secret. Like there's no money here for music. So like
because everything goes to me.
Tom gets all the money.
Salary.
That golden voice of yours. But it's just so like everything in this town when it comes to the music scene depends on labors of love. It depends on somebody giving a shit, and thankfully Ray does right now. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, now you've actually become friends or know these people face to face. That enthusiasm might wane pretty quickly.
Yeah, right. Once I get to know the personalities, it's all downhill.
Yeah.
you see the labor of love culminate, and why Ray came up every year. Waking Windows is just a perfect example of that. It's like people just caring so much, and the people who run that just care so much about the local scene and stuff like that. And Chris, you had some thoughts on Waking Windows?
Oh yeah, this is. I'm glad we got to this point of the interview. And jokes are over, guys. Jokes times are done.
All right.
This is the 10th anniversary of Waking Windows, and it's a big one.
Yep.
This is Bravo and Zeus have been a big part of many years, but really it's not going to be if they don't book the right people to celebrate. Like, what's the point? And we're the 10th one, so why not book Weird Al?
We're gonna need Weird Al.
We need Weird Al. Brian, Allie, I know you're listening. I know you are. I know you ignore my text about this. I've tagged on Instagram like 5 times. I tagged Weird Al on Instagram about this. I'm not even joking.
Get
I
that
did.
Change.org petition going.
Seriously, man. I don't know what
Weird Windows.
Weird Windows 10. That's what we need. We need Weird Al. It'll change everything.
Yep.
So he's like, as the main headliner, or are you gonna stick him in like
the only artist?
Monkey House.
I don't think anyone else needs to play.
Yeah.
I'll put him in the Monkey would be great.
How about Scout and Co. at like 11 a.m. on Sunday?
Send his accordion.
Yeah, you can
Coffee.
do like 5 sets over the weekend at different spots. That'd be great.
That'd be
But
awesome.
we're deadly serious about
We're
this.
deadly serious.
Yeah.
Have you genuinely? Have you emailed him, tagged him in a post?
I have tagged him in a
Yes.
post. Josh Shedeker went so far as to look online for how much it would cost to book Weird Al for a night.
Do you know how much it would be?
It was more than we thought. I don't remember it was exactly, but then we made sense. We're like, yeah, this guy has a lot of hits. But then
He's got a lot of
he's
hits.
got a lot of hits. But then I think I was at a Clever Girl show. I don't remember. I got lit at the Monkey in Cornered Alley. And was really like, look, I got really serious about all the reasons I thought it would be great. And I think she got really tired of me talking about it and started being nice about, Yeah.
He
Shut
is,
me up.
he is the whitest musician known to mankind, which would suit the whitest audience known to mankind, which is the crowd at Waking Windows.
That's correct.
I mean, that's not untrue. I guess that's true.
Called the Great White Rotary.
The Great White Rotary. Oh no. Oh no. There goes Winooski's property value. No, it's just gonna be all a bunch of white Weird Al fans. I don't know. I don't think anyone's gonna book him.
Ray, with your connections, have you
should.
lent a hand?
I interviewed Weird Al for my last book.
What?
I forgot about this.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
come on.
I've got his phone number. I could.
You got his phone number?
Let's do this.
Can we call him right now?
Let's do this live. Can we call him?
Yes,
I don't know. I might need him for another interview.
for information for those listening, Ray has written a book
Fabulous book.
about cover tracks.
Yeah, so it's an offshoot of this blog. I think I mentioned the book's called Cover Me, and it's sort of the history of cover songs as told through like 20 iconic covers, starting with Elvis, and at the time Adele was the most recent, couple years old. But yeah, I've sort of been passionate about cover songs for over a decade now, and so the blog's been going for that long, and the book kind of spun out of that.
From the research from the book, you took 20 songs. Could you give us an interesting tidbit of music trivia that maybe didn't make it into the book, or something you thought was really weird or interesting that we should know about?
Sure. There's a whole lot in the book, but I guess one of the things that I learned, some of the chapters I sort of knew at least the broad outlines of the story, and some of them I was kind of going in cold, except had some inkling that there was a cool story. And one of those was Midnight Train to Georgia, which one little tidbit I learned is, so first of all, it was not originally called Midnight Train to Georgia. It was originally called Midnight Plane to Houston. And of all things, the person who came up with that title was the actress Farrah Fawcett, because the songwriter was friends with her husband. And at one point he calls the husband, or attempts to, and Farrah picks up the phone, so, making small talk. And he's like, well, where's your husband? He's like, oh, and she says, oh, yeah, he's leaving on a midnight plane to Houston. So he writes this whole song, Midnight Plane to Houston, puts it out. It does nothing.
Why would it?
But then, yeah.
Who goes to Houston at midnight? Idiots.
It does nothing, but then Sissy Houston hears it. She says, I want to cover this, but it seems weird to sing Midnight Plane to Houston when your last name is Houston. So she's the one who changes it. She covers it. It does a little more, but still mostly nothing. But then Gladys Knight hears the new Midnight Train to Georgia, Sissy Houston's version, and covers it. And then so it took 3 tries for that one. So that's the sort of story I'm interested in, where these songs don't hit on the first time, but maybe it takes 2 or 3.
Nice.
No idea.
And so you wouldn't have interviewed Weird Al for this book, which makes sense, because he is
It's gonna happen.
literally
now,
created a career out of doing his own covers. Was that one particular was that one of the 20 songs that you covered? Was the Weird Al one?
Yeah, so I sort of wanted to do 2 things with that chapter. One is talk about the similarities and differences between cover songs and parodies. My sort of elevator, line about that is, for the cover song you change the music and you keep the lyrics. With the parody, you change the lyrics and you keep the music. So it's similar in that way. But then, as sort of the way in to talk about that, he does these polka covers, which are these medleys, that's the one actual cover he does, where he does change the music and keep the lyrics. So that was sort of the excuse, and then from there I could talk about the difference and also some of the legal stuff in terms of how you clear a cover song, how you clear a parody. He has all sorts of business dealings that clearing these things is just endless amount of work, negotiating the money, and so it's not a book about the music business exactly, but that's an important side of cover songs, particularly from the musician's perspective. So I wanted to get a little bit about that, and Weird Al offered sort of a fun way to do that.
So are you confirming now that you are going to call him up to get him into Waking Windows?
I can definitely guarantee he'll be there.
Yes. Write this down.
Heard it here first. Exclusive,
For
Big
sure.
Heavy World exclusive. Well, we've got about time for a last song from the Dino Bravo album. I would love to hear a bit of background about it, but any last thoughts on your album? Is there anywhere that we can watch you play? Where are you doing in the next few weeks?
In the next few weeks, we will be rehearsing on Mondays.
Yeah.
And
Our practice.
yeah, no, we're gonna get going on 2020 here. We're gonna get a show at Charlie's here in the next month or 2. We just got to iron out a date on that. trying to get back to Nectar's real soon, and always at the Monkey House, which is like our home base. So we'll be at the Monkey a lot. No hard dates yet, but you can find us on the internet, and we'll have some dates out real soon on that. And
Yeah.
You just got an Instagram page up as well, I saw.
Yeah.
yeah, we're late on everything, man.
Yeah, we're fiercely unambitious. We
What-
we don't.
Well, I hear fiercely ambitious, but being forced to become slightly more ambitious.
It happened eventually. Just inertia.
Yeah.
I think to some degree. I mean, kind of going to the gig thing. It takes a lot of effort to get this band moving and in a good way, because we all need to be in this state. So once it happens and we get in the studio and we do a record, we do a release show, like the inevitable is that afterwards it's like, maybe not this week, right? Well, we'll chill out this week. So we're still kind of in that patting our bellies phase from the record and the show.
Get through the holidays, and then we'll be ready to go. Hopefully we'll be at Waking Windows as well.
I mean, as long as the Weird Al thing happens out, if he's not there, obviously we can't.
Right.
We can't.
I mean, the whole thing should be cancelled.
Well, yeah, it all depends on Weird.
We'll see what Al says.
Yeah.
Shoot some stuff, see what's going on.
Yeah, we'll give him a call after the show.
Yeah.
So you're on Instagram. Instagram handle is
Dino Bravo VT.
and Facebook.
Same.
Same thing. Yeah.
And where can people find your album if they want to buy it?
Bandcamp right now. Just going to Bandcamp. It's free if you like. You can pay us if you like. And it's there. We're gonna put it up on Spotify. I think we're trying to time it with Christmas.
Yeah.
So we're part of the Christmas season, and that way we're like Die Hard.
Yeah.
We become a Christmas movie on accident.
All you need to do is get one of those songs on a Christmas playlist, and
right.
that's how Mariah Carey has made billions of dollars.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know.
I think so. Yeah.
And the last song we're gonna play tonight. You want to give us a little bit of a blurb?
Do pop music.
Sure. Talk about it.
Pop music is it just came up. I just came up with the melody for the chorus, and Shetty came up with the harmony for the chorus. Lyrically, this is again about coming to terms with getting older. We've all been in bands in this town for about 20 years now. So it's just kind of the whole album is just kind of like Chris said, it's a love letter to rock and roll and kind of like getting older in the scene. And this is just like kind of coming to terms with that again, and just and what are we gonna do next and stuff like that. And it's also about Kurt Weill being better than Bob Dylan.
Whoa, just gonna leave that.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
Kurt Weill is better than Bob Dylan.
He's got two of them in. The song's about Weird Al.
Little bit better than halfway done. Yeah, with Mama we sure had fun.
That was Dino Bravo, and also big thank you to Ray Padgett for coming on impromptu. So I appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. Next week we have got Beethoven and Count. It says Sleepers.
Couch Sleepers.
Sleepers.
We've seen those.
Yeah.
I'm reading Couch Sleepers.
I like that name.
Yeah.
It might just be a typo on the website, but we'll find
Whatever.
we'll find out next week. Big thank you once again, Dino Bravo, and
Thank you.
Ray for being on. I've been the host, Tom Proctor. This has been the Rocket Shop. Thank you. Good night.